Hi Libra, welcome to your week ahead Taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Libra, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody. That is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So apologies for the setup. I hope you like it and it's aesthetically pleasing for you, but I'm a little bit under the weather at the moment and likely to be out of action for the next few weeks. So this will be the way that they are delivered for a while. Just wanted to make sure I still got something out for you. So your moon card, or should I say your key to the week card, is the moon. I can't remember what sign it was, but this came up for another sign this week. I think it was Cancer. And the message that I gave them was, this week the past is coming up in a big way. This could be someone from the past, it could be an old job, an old colleague, an old friend. It could just be old memories that resurface in some way. And remember, with the moon card, it's very rare that we're actually looking at the thing. If this is an experience or a feeling, you might have an experience this week that reawakens something for you. Maybe it triggers a memory, maybe it triggers a certain type of feeling. The moon card is nebulous, right? And in a lot of ways, this week you are really having to keep your wits about you and remember it's just an echo, it's just a reflection, it's not the actual thing itself. The other thing that I want to say to you as well is this week may come with, and I touch wood and I really hope that I'm wrong on this front, but this could be a week where you are feeling some kind of fear. And it's going to be because something reminds you of something else. And we've all got things like that, whether it's partners, whatever it might be, right? There's always something that reminds us of something or someone from our past, and we're like, oh, hell no, not doing that again. With that said, if you are a continued subby, Rafi loves you. And if you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit the subscribe button. For your actions and options, you've got the Devil card. So for some of you, this may literally be you deciding to tread an old path that you know is no good for you. If you have certain proclivities and or addictions, this is not the week to convince yourself, and I touch on this very delicately. If you have ever had to do this work and you are on a road of recovery in some way, shape or form, I commend you. I send you so much love. You are a really brave human being and you're a wonderful person. But this is not the week to continue. It's not the week to try to convince yourself that you can have just that one drink, that you can have, I can just have sex with that person once more. If you have a certain type of addiction or proclivity, this week is not the week to test how far you've come. This is not a week to, because you could go in with that one thing and you could literally undo all of your progress. You just got to be really careful with yourself this week, okay? For your communications and conversations, you've got the Strength card. This is interesting to me. And I have to talk about this because obviously the moon card is involved. For those of you, I don't really know how much of this I can say. First of all, I have to say I'm not a therapist, I'm not a counsellor, I am not any of those things. I'm, always defer to a professional in those situations. But what I can say here, the Devil card with the Strength card, that's how you see your body. And if you ever have struggled with that, how you look in the mirror, if you've ever had anything of that nature, this week I urge you to reach out, to ask for help, to talk it out with somebody that you love, with somebody that you care about, and not suffer in silence. The reason I say this is, with this combination of cards, you could be giving yourself a really hard time this week. and I don't ever want to see anybody in that space. I don't really know how much I want to talk about this, but I have had some issues with this in my personal history as well, and I'm well and truly over it now. Like, I see my body as something to be loved and revered and really cared for. But when you're in it, it can be really hard and it can be really heavy. And so I just want you to, if you're in that space, even for a split second, don't be in that space on your own, okay? And that's as much as I will say. Now, when it comes to your communications and conversations, you've got the Strength card. This is a week for you. Maybe the strength that you're finding or the courage that you need is to reach out, is to say that actually something is bothering me at a deeper level, and I'm thinking about picking up an old crutch in order to get past it or through it. For those of you that are studying or in the academic field at this moment in time, I would really think this week whether you are on target for what it is that you set out for. The reason I say this is I kind of feel like there's going to be a line of questioning that comes up for some of you, and it might have you kind of saying, wow, you know what, like when I got into this or chose to study this, like I didn't think that I would end up here. And actually, you know, I think this might be a moment where you're questioning, like, am I too far away from shore here? Like, am I sailing to the destination that I wanted to be at? Or am I kind of, you know, out of that ballpark, let's say? Be careful as well. Like if there are certain people that you're connected to that, you know, tend to party a lot or anything like that, just watch out for it. When it comes to those of you that are employed by somebody else, I would give yourself this week. This is one of those weeks where counting to 10 before you open your mouth would probably be the best way to go. And the reason I say this is you may misconstrue something. So something may be said, and the way that you understand it versus, you know, and this is always a grey area, because then people turn around and say, oh, well, I didn't mean it like that. And it's like, really? Well, it sounded like that. So, you know, if it looks like a duck and it sounds like a duck. But, you know, I guess what I'm trying to say is your reaction needs to be measured. You know, this is something that you need to consider or to think about. When it comes to your, business owners, entrepreneurs, people that work for themselves, I would say this week you may need to find some rest. This might be a really good week to either hire somebody temporarily to assist you, or if there's a big project or a job that you're working on, it looks like you're trying to convince yourself that you can do it all. And I gotta tell you, while I would love to empower you, I don't want to toxically empower you to say, oh yeah, you know, you just push past it, babe. You got it. You can do all of this. Like, there are times when the wisest thing to do is to ask for help. And if you are a one-man band or a solopreneur, there are so many really cost-effective ways to get help or assistance with or for your business. Do not struggle or suffer alone this week is the best advice that I can give you across the board. For those of you that are retired and no longer working, I feel like this is going to be someone in your family that needs your assistance, and it may be that, you know, so as an example, let's say a grandchild comes to you and tells you something that has you concerned, and you're like, okay, well, I can deal with this on my own, or I can just tell their parents. Okay, fine, you know, this young person might never trust me again, but it is something that their parents need to know. This may be one of those weeks where you are put in what feels like a hard or a compromising situation, and you're just going to have to do the best that you can do with the options that are available to you, right? For your love and relations, you have the Queen of Cups. So a Pisces woman may feature for you in some way, shape or form this week. So Queen of Cups, water sign woman. So for those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments, this may be a time where you're having to uphold something within the relationship, and maybe it's causing a problem with your partner. So this might be that you're having to draw a boundary with one of your children and your partner doesn't agree with what you're doing. It could be that maybe you're having a problem with your significant other's family or sibling or friend or whatever, and it's like by holding to this, you're effectively making yourself kind of public enemy number one, but you know it's the right thing to do, and it might feel a little bit lonely. You know, kind of a bit like you're out there on a limb, like, hang on a sec, I'm just trying to do the right thing here. Again, outsource. I don't think this is a week to suffer in silence on your own. I think communication really is going to be the key. When it comes to those of you that are single, I gotta say, this week, I would steer clear of love. Not because it's bad or there's anything scary there, but you obviously have a lot going on, and I don't know how much this is. I don't know how sort of, not even healthy, but I don't know how. Yeah, it's not a good idea. Okay, don't add. You've already got enough to deal with. Don't add more. Sorry, I'm just sort of struggling there. Okay, this is interesting. So then you've got the King of Cups next to that. So potentially a Pisces man could feature for you as well. Now, you've got this. When it comes to your finances, your money, and your resources, if you have to spend money on something like therapy, some kind of support in that kind of sense or that kind of way, it's going to be money well spent. All right, anything where you're having to spend money on a healer this week, whatever way, shape, or form that healing comes to you, it's money well spent. That's the best piece of advice I can give you. Now, this here represents a couple. This could be that you hear some news about a couple, or maybe one half of a couple comes to you with a piece of information or something, and you're like, okay, now I'm in between a rock and a hard place. Do I say something? Do I not say something? Only you can decide, but it could be a bit of an intense situation for your physical health and vitality. This is the King of Cups, because he's Scorpio ruled. This is going to be your reproductive system. And I gotta say, with the Moon card here as well and the Strength card, if you are going to indulge in the physical pleasures, no problem. Just make sure you protect yourself. One night stands or group endeavors or anything like that could end up leading to some stuff that you want to be able to leave the event at the event, and you may not be able to with this combination. So just watch out for that. When it comes to your come on brain, your home and environment, that King of Cups is really asking you to foster or create an environment of healing. The other thing is as well, you may need to draw an emotional boundary this week, where you might come across what feels like an emotional manipulation. So just forgive me. So just watch out for that. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Look after yourself this week, Libra. Be gentle with yourself. And like I said, do not be alone with anything. All right? With that said, take care, and I'll speak.